When I was 16, I won a great victory. I felt in that moment I would live to be 100. Now I know I shall not see 30. None of us know our end, really, or what hand will guide us there.
Hey everyone, my name is Simpsy. How you all doing? Welcome to my medieval Total War 1100 AD Jerusalem cinematic campaign. We're going to be playing as King Baldwin I. The main objective of this video is to conquer the Levant and extend the Kingdom of Jerusalem's borders from Damascus to as far as Cairo. By doing so, we'll protect Christians, pilgrims' right to visit the holy places. So, I hope you guys enjoy. Looking at our diplomatic situation, we currently have a defensive pact and an alliance with the Principality of Antioch. We currently have a vassalship in the county of Edessa, them being a client state. We are currently at war with the Emirate of Damascus. So initially, what we want to try and do is secure our position in the Levant, try and take all of it under our control, and then we'll look towards the Fatimid Caliphate and other surrounding Saracen factions around us. First things first, tech-wise, we want to go with supply reforms, which will minus our upkeep for all land units by 2%, which isn't a crazy value, but it will eventually add up. Politically, the Conservative Party is now in. We will have to watch out for various other factions and agents within the Kingdom of Jerusalem. The Maritime Party holds some sway. We're currently under the reign of King Baldwin I of Jerusalem, who's 42, and is yet to have any direct descendants. He's currently married to an Armenian princess. Hopefully he can secure his line and lineage. If not, we might have to adopt Raymond. So we currently have 9 units in Jerusalem itself. We want to march north against the Emirate of Damascus. The quicker we bring Tripoli under our control, the better, as will give us access to a crucial port. At the moment, trade is blocked as a land route hasn't been established from the capital to a port. It's going to be vital to trade some of the valuable holy commodities, also spices and various other lumber elements. We could do with a priest in Jerusalem, just to help religious fractures in and around the city. Okay, so unfortunately the county of Edessa has been attacked. A good Christian, a good Catholic, would enter the war on the Allies' side, but they're too far north, and at this stage they're a little bit vulnerable. The Roman Empire has actually, during the end turn phase here, offered a defensive alliance, which is an interesting proposition, which we will accept, as this campaign is quite difficult. And luckily we did, because as soon as the pact got signed, the Fatimid Caliphate has declared war upon us, bringing in the Roman Empire. Alright, so we're just south of Tripoli. Raymond has marched north with the army. I'm actually going to replace that. I would rather King Baldwin I lead from the front and become a renowned crusader king. We outnumber them 2-1. Should be a good battle. Thankfully, Tripoli isn't overly too built up, and we'll slowly but surely march on in and try and bring it under crusader control. The quicker we can stabilize the Levant and the surrounding regions, the quicker we can achieve our overall objective, forming a great and grand Kingdom of Jerusalem and bringing the Kingdom of Heaven here on earth. The cavalry crusaders are going to get the first blow here against some Saracen spearmen. Very lightly armored, the Saracens. Our mounted heavy horsemen are carving them up like carving a cake. And they're doing quite well as well. More infantry and archers are slowly moving up. A venomous volley just to soften up the hit points of those units. And we'll send in our infantry, which are incredibly armoured, and have the crusading cross donned upon them. Still raining fire and deadly arrows upon the enemy. And now fierce combat is about to break out. Shields shattering. Taunts sounding out as we slowly but surely make our way into the town square. The cavalry is now in the city centre at the heart of Tripoli and will soon fall to Crusader occupation. Very few casualties there. An over-resounding victory for the Crusaders. And now we have access to the sea. We could potentially land more future crusading forces as well. And now we have the majority of the Levant under Crusader control. More wars are now breaking out. The Principality of Antioch has been attacked. Thankfully we outnumber them ally-wise, numerically. And we're going to enter the war on ally side. We're hemorrhaging a little bit of cash at the moment, but food seems to be fine. We're slowly but surely trying to convert the populace at Jerusalem. And now with Tripoli, we have access to trade across the Mediterranean. So first things first, we're going to use the land corridor from Jerusalem to Antioch. And we'll try and trade with our Crusader allies, trying to extract as much coin out of them as they can. I'm sure they can afford a tithe to the Crusade state. The Roman Emperor, wary of the Turks, the Saracens, and other surrounding eastern factions, all Sassanids from his opinion, is happy to trade. Alright, so we've taken Tripoli now. I think it's a smart idea to push and take Damascus, securing our position further in the north. If we can get that Damascus steel production back up, it will really improve our weapon quality for our armies. Damascus is quite a fortified city. Hopefully we don't turn it into rubble. Our siege towers are going to slowly but surely make our way on up. This is a real big test for Baldwin. This is his first major siege, where siege equipment is needed to be deployed. A real test for the crusading king. A larger garrison as well. Drum towers in the defense. 6 siege towers being built coming up for us. We didn't have time to build a battering ram. The Crusaders wanting to use the element of surprise. We're going to try and burn down the gate rather than building a battering ram to break it down. We're going from one attack. Archers trying to engage the skirmishers up upon the walls, trying to drag the arrow fire away from the infantry unit, which has been tasked to try and burn down the gate. It will also drag the city's defensive fire away from the siege towers as well. But our brave Crusader Hospitallers are slowly but surely making their way up. They are taking significant casualties though from a bombardment, an array of javelins and skirmish fire being hit upon them. But if they keep this up, they might be able to cause a spark, cause a blaze, and burn the gateway to allow more of our holy, brave Crusaders into Damascus, bringing it under Christian control. The gateway has now been opened, and the Crusaders are flooding their way in to the city. but not without resistance, as the Damascus defenders are currently pouring hot, boiling oil up and over the gateway. Some of the poor crusaders having their armor fused to their skin. Slowly but surely pushing through the meat grinder. The siege towers have now arrived at the walls and will open another vector of attack into the city. There has been a unit of elephants spotted. The Emirate here is trying to pull out many tricks in their defense. The cavalry still slowly progressing in the gateway. Absolute meat grinder is the best way to describe this situation in and around the gateway. Barely taking steps forward. Very fierce fighting. They've decided to move up their elephants, but the Crusaders seem to be not phased in wanting to liberate the Christian Catholic occupants in Damascus Greater. But they are continuing to gain more ground minute by minute as more reinforcements flood on in. Decisive victory in the end. Baldwin taking significantly more casualties than the last due to the city having walls. 2 units being crushed in the process. They will be considered martyrs. Now, we are on the border of Raqqa and Aleppo, but I think it's not wise to declare war upon another eastern faction just yet, as the Emirate of Damascus still has more territory under its control. The Kingdom of France during the end turn phase wants a defensive alliance, which is interesting. You'd think they'd support Antioch more, but we'll accept. Although we successfully took Damascus, a plague has now broken out, unfortunately, which we're going to have to deal with. God doesn't seem to smile upon the inhabitants of Damascus for whatever reason. Okay, after we managed to push through the plague and pestilence, Baldwin, with Army 1, has moved south, and we've got another army coming on the way. Okay, so now we're strong enough to hopefully put the final nail in the Emirate of Damascus' coffin. We're going to have the siege of Karak, which is just southeast of Jerusalem. A stronghold which we must root out. Another built-up settlement. Hopefully now Baldwin, now being a experienced sieged attacker, will lose less casualties in this one, learning from his experience in the conquest of Damascus and Tripoli. Camel riders have seen fit to charge out against the unit trying to burn down the gate. They are successfully delaying us. But never fear, the siege towers are here, and they're pouring on in to Karak. Fierce fighting is still breaking out on the walls, where the majority of the fighting of this city is occurring, as we're taking our time to push through the gate. More elephants have been deployed, but this time around we're actually struggling to push through the gateway. We are being more successful on the walls. Only time will tell. Will we be successful here today? It's going to be a long and hard protracted siege, but we are now raising the Crusader banner, which is a huge boost. And in doing so, taking the city, but at a costly victory. Karak is now ours, and we've secured 3 crucial towns in quick succession. Taking a lot of territory and ground in the spring before winter sets in. The Holy Roman Emperor has surprise attacked France. Doesn't seem overly too holy or Roman to me. We're going to be backing the French in this one. After the successful conquest of Carrick, we decided to march west to try and liberate Alexandria and Cairo. However, we were intercepted by Fatimid forces. We have a battle just on the fields of Alexandria here, which will decide whether or not we're going to be able to take Alexandria or Cairo. They're going to try and stop our advance, fight us on the open field. Hopefully the Crusaders can be successful here today. If doing so, we'll be able to take Cairo and Alexandria with ease. If not, it will take us years and months to recover. This army is more experienced in taking cities, so this is going to be a real big test for the Crusaders, fighting for the first time the Fatimids, but not also on the field of battle. Thick bushes and shrubbery litter the battlefield, so line of sight is hard. Small pockets of fighting are breaking out across the battlefield. In doing so, creating small battles within one greater fight. But so far, the Crusaders are holding their own, even against a surprise of a Fatimid attack. Our archers are taking out their targets well. Our infantry is holding as we advance. Some of the Fatimids are now fleeing, trying to get back to Cairo with their tails between their legs. They are drawing us further into the light tropical forest. But it was a glorious victory for the Crusaders in the end. A glorious but a close victory. Pushing them back into the Nile from whence they came. We did lose a handful of brave Crusaders. All hail the victorious dead.
With purpose and honesty.
The Principality of Kiev wants a trade agreement. Looks like the grain deal is back on. Baldwin just needs to run down some of the last remaining stragglers from the fight on the east side of the Nile. And with a clear-cut victory, the last of the escapees have now been crushed. Now with the main army defending the Fatimid capital of Cairo and Alexandria, Baldwin should be able to waltz on in, destroying the last of the remaining garrisons, which will not pose a threat. Cairo has now fallen to the Crusaders and is now under Christian occupation. With the capital falling, Alexandria has been cut off from trade and military support for the north, and Baldwin can now link up with Raymond, who is now going to be his heir, and Alexandria will fall once again.
We take this settlement for Rome!
This time with a united Crusader force of 4,000 strong. Luckily, we were able to crush the Saracen force that came out against us. If that full stack was embedded in a settlement, the conquest of Alexandria and Cairo could have been significantly difficult. But now, the Kingdom of Jerusalem extends from Alexandria to Jerusalem to Cairo. And this is what we currently occupy. We have most of the coastal territory, and we've formed a large kingdom of heaven. There are still enemies surrounding us, but we're just going to bed in and bunker down now. And now with our allies to the north, they can bring in troops and supplies. So I hope you enjoyed King Baldwin's conquest here today. If you enjoy this type of content, like and subscribe. YouTube memberships and super thanks are available. Stay tuned for more content on the channel. Cheers.